Hello, welcome to ABW. How are we all? It's Saturday. We had a 3 p.m. kickoff and we won. Happy days. Right, let's go straight to the chat box. Joshua Page straight in there as the first guest. Then An235100 being a cheeky chappy. The Arsenal win and Wales behind against England. Jason will be happy. Oh, perhaps not laughing. Cheeky get. Julian Salmon's in there. Alan Craker. Marky GTI. Daniel Cronin. Joshua Page, I mentioned you. AMT OFT. Naked again. Carlito Alguna is there. Avon Teddington. David Michael. Hennes P. Pete Coulson. If I missed you out, I'm sorry. Marcus Hodges and Thompson Norway. Just had Chemical X. They're all there. So here we are. ABW Live is back, and we're back to winning ways. Hope you're all well, guys. Military Gooners there. JSS AFC smashes in with a donation. You lot stop that nonsense today. James McMurray's there as well. I tell you what, how are we all? It's not a bad day to be alive. And on that, before we stint the show, a bit of a shout out to a guy called Matthew J. Watkins. He used to play rugby for Wales. He passed away this morning to a rare form of pelvic cancer. He's only 41. He's a mate of mine, a guy I used to work with. By all accounts, cracking bloke, young family. Just what do you say to that? It's just sad days. So, guys, we talk a lot about mental health and health on this show. Get yourselves checked out, okay? Remember, your health's important. You feel there's something wrong, go to the doctors, talk to somebody, get it done. Don't leave it. Don't face problems alone. You don't want to see that, okay? So, guys, just please, you're important to us. Don't mess about. If there's anything you think is wrong, get it seen to. Right, on the show today, we have the one and only Danny the GFP. Say hello, Danny.
Hello, John.
That's actually cheered me up. Sorry, pal. I'm going to quickly check the score. I can't believe this, okay? Wales and England are on, and I got to do this. I'm not happy. Also, is today. I haven't poured it in before. It's the magnificent Nicky Wilson. Say hello, Nicky.
Hello, John. That doesn't work the second time, does it?
I like it, okay? And it's all that matters is if I like it. That's all that matters. Alan Bastard smashes in the donation. And he says, thank Christ again. Alan, you're not wrong, pal. I wonder who the hell you are, because...
It's the MP. He's used to be an MP in England. Everyone knows that. Sir Aaron.
Yeah, I saw the documentary. Right, okay, let's get straight into it. Guys, Arsenal and West Ham, 3 p.m. kickoff on a Saturday. I think the majority of these games have been draws today. In the lineups, we had Nketiah starting over Lacazette again. Mari getting his first start. Hector on the bench due to a hamstring strain, and Saka at right back. Dan, what were your thoughts?
My thought is, I hope you don't come to me while I'm thanking those two for their donations. There you go. My thought on the lineup, I set my alarm for 2 p.m. I had a couple of snoozes. I thought it was going to take me 3/4 of an hour to get up and get dressed. 10 to 3, I thought, oh, fuck, I better get out of bed. Yeah, so the snooze thing got me again. I wanted to find somewhere that was going to show the original lineup, because this is only showing the lineup once the game is finished. But, yeah, so we had Sokratis at right back. Then I thought, well, maybe what's up with Bellerin? Why isn't Bellerin playing at right back? And then I think we've got quite a few games coming in a row. We've got to play Man City on Tuesday. We only played midweek against when we won against Portsmouth. And so I suppose we can't be playing someone who's come back from injury, playing him every single game. And to be fair to Sokratis, he had a half-decent game, hit the post and got a yellow card. As for the rest of the lineup, I'm glad that Eddie got another chance, although Eddie may not score goals as regularly as you would think as someone who's starting games for Arsenal would score. He's definitely getting in there and he's getting chances. And the more he plays, the better he's going to be. I haven't got much choice in the central midfield. Ceballos and Xhaka. Who else can we really put in the middle of there apart from Guendouzi running around like a headless chicken? and then you're holding your breath whether he's going to have a good game or not. Interesting to see Mari starting, and no sign of Mustafi. Now, Mustafi's had a couple of knocks recently, hasn't he?
He's injured.
Ah, there you go. I thought he might be. Surprised Holding hasn't come back either, because Holding is really taking his time to come back. I know Mari and Holding and I think one other played for the under-23s in a game. I think they won 4-3 recently. So other than that, you couldn't really make many changes to the first team, the starting 11, because we haven't really got the players to come and do it. The likes of Willock and Nelson, those are always going to be amongst the players that are going to come on as a sub. But yeah, the only other thing I would say is that I'm surprised that he brought Lacazette on so soon, which I was quite happy with. It worked out well, but the starting lineup, the only thing I was concerned about was Bellerin.
Well, we had players fading around that time. Nick, the game kicked off within 2 minutes. We have Leno saving from Bowen. A shot from outside the box. Leno gets fingertips to it, hits the post after Xhaka gave the ball away. It wasn't a finest start, was it?
No, I mean, Xhaka, he has got that in him, and you don't mind him doing those sort of passes in the final third, which he is quite good at, but to be doing those sort of passes in your own 18-yard box, that's suicide football. I don't know if that's what he meant to do or he mishit it, but that sort of stage, you just got to clear it upfield, just smack it up to the striker or out into the corner flag, just get everyone set. But I mean, I don't know what he was thinking doing that, to be honest. What do you think?
I genuinely thought he had a brain fart. He's got that in him. Unfortunately, we'll get on to it, but I think him and Ceballos were pretty loose with the ball today. They gave the ball away far too often. Our midfield is struggled today. We couldn't add that the zip to the game, which kind of cost us. You get Xhaka, then Danny firing over from outside the box after 7 minutes.
We've been waiting for one of these. They've been coming, haven't they? I said this in the last podcast midweek. I said he has scored no goals this season. Usually you get 4 or 5 goals from him. So maybe he listened to the show and he thought, well, I'm going to have my regular pot shot, because you would guarantee most games until Arteta took over, Xhaka was going to have a couple of those per game. And 2 or 3 of those may be on target, and then 1 per season would be a right scream that would go in. So good to see him having a chance, keeping the goalkeeper on his toes, as the commentators might say. Yeah, good to see.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I'd just like him to get them on target. Do you know what I mean?
He's been a while before having any, so it's going to take another half a dozen before he gets any on target. But when he does, they're all going to be thunder bastards.
Let's hope so. I mean, look, there's a lot of frustrated comments in the box, and I got to be honest, I'm frustrated with today's performance. I didn't enjoy it, but I think we've just got to put it into perspective where we are in the moment. You've got a manager who's 2 months and a bit into his into his tenure, his first managerial job, and you got a team who, personnel-wise, we're lacking the players he needs to play, and they've been lacking in confidence for a long time this season. So we kind of are where we are, but let's get back into the game. Nick, you then see Fornals pick up a yellow for a foul on Pepe. Pretty cynical. I thought that was the sign that Atkinson was going to have a good game. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's similar to what Xhaka did a few years ago and got sent off for. I mean, that was just a complete tackle from behind, no attempt to play the ball.
Yeah.
And then I thought, right, well, Pepe should have a good game today, because if he's going to run at him for a yellow card, for 85 minutes or something like that, you thought that'd do well, because he should be in his pocket for the rest of the game after getting booked that early, but probably not.
We didn't run at him then, did we? We didn't put him under pressure, which is a bit frustrating, but there you go. Danny,
read that comment from Thomas.
At least our players don't run in the stands and attack us.
Thomas.
To be fair, I mean, that's still under investigation, isn't it?
He didn't mean it. He's not that kind of bloke who'll get away with it, much like Son.
If he genuinely gets away with that, okay, then it's just more proof that this is the most corrupt league in the world.
If we go onto the pitch, we get a lifetime ban. Why can't you get a ban for going
not
in
being funny,
stands?
you get a yellow card for going to the supporters when
When you celebrate, you get a yellow card for that. But you know what Spurs are like? They get away with everything. I mean, Son, 2 foot people, nearly breaks their legs, done it twice, both times got away with it.
It's not that type of player.
Yeah, I've got to be honest. Boys, the Premier League is corrupt, okay? All this bullshit about FIFA and UEFA, I've never seen anything like it. And we'll get on to Atkinson's performance later, but there we go. Danny, Max, after 10 minutes, Maxi misses a ball. Antonio right on it, okay? Takes it into the box, screws up the pass to, I can't remember whose teammate was, just behind it. We got lucky, didn't we? Yeah,
like Jose Madeira says there. Oh no, wrong one. Where is it? You're going as Rudy. Thank God, Archie, that Antonio couldn't hit a barn door, because if Antonio would have been able to get that on target, we would have been in trouble, because I think if we'd have gone 1-0 down, that game would have, first of all, we wouldn't have won 1-0 if we'd have gone 1-0 down, but that game would have been a lot harder. West Ham, we're just lucky they were shit. Fabianski had another magnificent game. They've been, this season, when they've not had Fabianski in goal, West Ham have been rubbish, and that's what got the bloke sacked, old Man City manager, Pellegrini, that's what got him sacked, because the really bad run is when they had that clowning goal they've now got rid of. So Fabianski saved them today. But if they had scored a goal, I don't think we'd have been lucky to get a draw out of it, because we were just awful at times.
I don't know. I mean, look, a goal changes the game, doesn't it? A goal changes the context of the game. It changes your performance. But we the first half was painful. Nicky, you then get Ozil taking a shot after Eddie did a bit of good work. The shot is saved by Fabianski. I felt Ozil should have done better there. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Ozil was trying to do is trademark, hit it into the floor sort of goal. And then obviously the bloke blocked it in front of the goalkeeper, and I went out to Eddie, which I was a bit disappointed, because he was such a tight angle. He's got to be putting that back to someone. I think Pepe was a bit further back, screaming for the ball, and he just sort of chipped at a funny angle and fell over towards the goalkeeper. But look, I mean, we were talking earlier, but he's young. He's going to learn that in the next, hopefully, few years or so.
Yeah, well, yeah. I got to be honest with you. Eddie's at a point in his career. Yes, he's going to be frustrating. He's learning, and I think, with a lot of these guys, and I do this with Guendouzi, I'm very guilty of this with Guendouzi. These guys are on their, they're on their learning trail. Yeah. This is their education in football, and you have to give them a bit of a break. It gets annoying, but they will get there sooner or later. Danny, after 18 minutes, then you get to see Haller. He actually dived after a challenge in the box to try to win a penalty, and Martin Atkinson just ignores it. How does he ignore that? It was a clear dive. You know what he was trying to do, but Atkinson ignores it and lets it go.
Yeah, I was listening to the Peter Crouch pod, and they had, who's the Tranmere referee? Says he's a Tranmere. He was on there. Sounds like a decent bloke, but it's called that Peter Crouch thing. So go and have a listen to that with the one with the referee, and he explains a lot about VAR, because I think it was only done in the last couple of weeks. Okay. And so he says referees know that these kind of things are going to go on, and then we know that sometimes referees don't want to book people for the first time they do something. You always get a couple of. That's why they do rotational fouls, because players will get away with it if it's not the same person kicking the same people over and over. And as to why he didn't book him, I think some referees just rather let the game play on. And I suppose it depends on how dramatic your dive for a penalty is. And I suppose we have seen penalty dives that are worse than that, and ones that are not worse than that, which is that's part of the joy of football, the inconsistency of referees.
Yeah, but it's a clear dive. He's on his feet off the challenge, the ball's gone, and then he throws himself to the floor.
Well, we had one later on with Eddie, didn't we? So, as a neutral, when you're looking at those two, are they much different?
No, they are. Eddie's in contact with the guy. Okay, he has made the most of it, and it's been waved on, rightfully so. Okay, but there was nobody near Harlow when he throws himself to the floor. And that's the big thing for me, okay?
But then again, if you paused it and looked at the referee's line of sight, was there no one in front of him? Could he be 100% certain that he did actually dive and that he didn't fall or was shoved?
That's another question,
bit, isn't it?
To be fair, that's another question, Let's go, okay? So 21 minutes in, Nicky. Sokratis heads the ball over. He's got a free header from the corner. There's been some good work from Aubameyang and Pepe. He hits the crossbar, and it goes over. In these situations, I'm a big fan of Sokratis, to be fair, because he gives it everything, and he'll come up with a few goals from the season. I thought he should have done better. There's nobody challenging him. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, because obviously that coming from a corner and went out to Aubameyang, but obviously he put the ball in, and that was a fair bit of pace, but that was like a complete straight ball. So I think as Sokratis was running onto it and to head it, I think if he'd have had some form of angle, he might have been able to put it, he'd like to have hit it down into the bottom corner. But I think because he had Aubameyang had to put it over the two guys in front of him, it was quite high. So I don't know if he could have got it down as well as he wanted to. But I mean, he hit the post or the crossbar. You're not going to get much better than that, are you?
Well, he needed a shot. He needed a chip. He needed a score there for me. But he's not a striker, and there's far worse misses than that today. Dan, after 22 minutes, the first half, we had a lot of possession, right? And 2, 3, 5, 100. You're in trouble here, okay? Me and you, fella, we're gonna have words. Behave. England just scored again. The 50s.
I wondered what you were doing. I thought,
I just hope he's going to fall off his chair.
I'm trying to do two things at once here, okay, and it's really awkward, okay? What the hell can I say? After 22 minutes, Antonio throws himself to the ground and actually wins a free kick. And this is the bit that got me. At this point, there was no way he was actually touched by anybody. He's surrounded by 3 defenders. Atkinson gives him the benefit of the doubt. But Xhaka and Ceballos at this point, they were bloody awful. The midfield pairing, they just were not playing well. We were giving the ball away too often. And, it's not even brave balls, brave passes that we're turning over. It's just the normal run-of-the-mill stuff to keep the game ticking over. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought, man, Ceballos is making some decent runs and Xhaka's kind of doing his job, but they need a little bit more help from someone playing in the Torreira position where they can concentrate on the rest of their game. We've always seen when Xhaka is the one who has to do the defensive midfield thing, that's not when we get the best out of him. And when Ceballos isn't making them forward runs as much as he would do because Ozil's there. And when I was making the note of watching Ozil, and Ozil was doing, as soon as he got the ball, he was tapping it back off to somebody else for most of the game until he got the assist, which was magnificent. So I'm going to say nothing bad about him. But it's just another case of we have players not playing in their best positions. And plus West Ham, whenever we were attacking, they had 8 or 9 players in the box. I remember looking at it thinking, well, how the hell are we going to do this? Because there's 3 sides we're going to score a goal. Down either wing, well, Pepe's doing ballet lessons on the right-hand side. Saka's doing it as well on the left-hand side. And the only other avenue is to go straight through the middle. Well, Ceballos couldn't do that because Ozil was in there. So he'd give the ball to Ozil, and Ozil would just, as soon as he get it, tap it off to somebody else. I don't know. And that's the kind of thing a player will do when they've got no confidence, isn't it? They as soon as they get the ball, they give it to somebody else. So, but with Ozil, I give him the benefit of the doubt and don't think he's trying to get rid of the ball by giving it to somebody else, that he's trying to set stuff up. But it was either a little bit late or a little bit early, and things, like you're saying, things just really weren't working out. But you can't play Xhaka in that defensive midfield role. It slows him down too much. He likes to get forward too much. And if you're asking him to go and cover for Saka when Saka's making a run, that means he's trying to do 3 jobs at once.
I just think the midfield 3 again. We'll count Ozil in the midfield 3. I think they were poor today. I think at times we were a little bit gutless in there, and we need that game ticking over. But is that because the lack of movement from further up? Because everybody's just standing there waiting for ball to feet, and there are no runs to sort of get things going, and that I find a real issue. I think, you've got Mesut, who's very lateral at the moment, and he's very frustrating. Pepe, he's just stood there waiting for ball to feet all the time. He's not we're not drawing defenders away or midfielders away. We're so one-dimensional, and I think that's something that Arteta's going to have to work on.
According to WhoScored.com, Xhaka had an 86% pass success rate, had 86 passes and 76 passes and 65 were accurate. So he had 11 passes that went astray.
Yeah, look, I think, what was the score for Ceballos?
97 passes, 86 were accurate. So he also had 11 that went astray, and he had an 89% pass success rate.
It's difficult, isn't it? I mean, we're looking at this. I think there was sloppiness there for certain. Okay, for certain there was sloppiness, but a bit of it. I'm looking at our movement. I don't think Arteta's got a movement right yet, and that's going to be something we need to work on.
But Sokratis, 94% pass success rate.
Yeah, great. Mickey, after 30 minutes, you see Leno save from Finales again. Leno today was our saviour.
Yeah, he has been, the last, especially this season, towards the end of last season. He does seem to get out of the box really well, and he, I can't really complain. I don't know if he's making any worldy saves, but he's saving everything we would expect him to save.
6 saves today.
6 saves, yep, that's good. But I don't really know what else to say about him, really. I mean, I don't think we do him a lot of favours how we defend.
No.
But if we keep giving him decisions to make, like playing it back to him under pressure, or like we're bombarding him with like free kicks and stuff like that, and he's getting like indecisive, like, do I come, do I stay, do I punch it, do I not? I think how old is he then? Was he still about 26?
28.
28, well, it's a bit older then, but obviously, I mean, goalkeepers don't usually come in their own till around, 30?
Yeah.
Like, with experience-wise, so I think we've got a decent keeper now, as long as he doesn't do anything stupid, like, smoking in the changing rooms away to Southampton on Boxing Day, nothing like that.
But you compare his stats today, he had a total saves of 6, Fabianski 1. He had 3 parried saves, Fabianski none. And parried away from danger, he had 2, and Fabianski had 1. That just shows how much more attacking West Ham were today than we were.
Sorry.
What, me?
Okay, yeah, no, whatever.
Still watching the rugby?
No comment. We're getting humped at the moment. It's not good. Danny, you then see some lovely feet from Ceballos after Sokratis and Ozil screw up a little movement. Ceballos really frustrated me today, but there's a lot of good in what he does, isn't there?
He is important because he's getting forward and he's trying to create stuff, but he's got that permanent barrier of Ozil in front of him. I was trying to think back to because we've all said the kind of player that we need. Number 10s are out. People aren't really using number 10s anymore. And Ozil is a very static number 10. He'll go a little bit left, a little bit right, maybe a little bit deeper. But I'm not going to say the Ramsey word, but I'm going to have to. That's the more. I think Ceballos is more of a Ramsey kind of player, and Ramsey still has to get the ball from. Shut your face.
Nowhere near the athleticism. It's
nothing to do with athleticism. It's positional stuff. He gets the ball and he wants to bring it forward. And before we had this, what did Ozil do? Did Ozil get in the way of Ramsey when he was making the forward runs? Or has Ceballos been told that you get to a certain point and then you've got to give it wide, or you've got to give it to Ozil? It seems that part of his play, of his game, is I'd like to see Ceballos play without Ozil playing in front of him. I think that's not good.
Didn't we play Ramsey a lot on the right wing when we bought Ozil? We played him more wide.
We played Ramsey a lot on the right-hand side when we were playing Theo up top. And we played, what's the donkey's name? Coughlin and Cazorla in the middle. It was one of those. Then we played him on the right-hand side, to clog up the right-hand side. Another one of them. One of those it was.
Archie says that Ceballos at a 10 is pony. No thanks. No, I'm not saying Ceballos at a 10. I'm saying play him in so you have a Torreira, a Xhaka, and then a Ceballos, and Ceballos can have more free roll to go and go forward and also get back. I don't want someone stuck in that number 10 anymore, because I think at times it's a waste of a player.
we'll talk about athleticism, etc. later, because I think that's the thing that's killing us at the moment. We're not, we need to be a bit more direct at times. We need to be drawing players out, and we're not doing that. Mickey, then you see at the 36th minute, Pepe driving into the box, some great feet, okay, and some really good defending from Rice to stop it. Then in the 37th minute, Pepe's driving again. Eddie takes the ball flies off to Eddie. He shoots, but he's offside. So a little bit of not inexperience, a little bit of poor decision making from Eddie there. But you could see Pepe's danger at that point.
Yeah, he's really starting to heat up towards the end of the season. So it's good that he's obviously struggled at the start of the season, like with the pace and the physicality of the Premiership. But he's definitely getting into it now. But I remember when he was saying when Eddie was pointing, so I think he wanted the ball a lot earlier. So he was pointing, he ran into space, but Pepe, instead of passing it, he sort of ran through a player instead. But then rather than Eddie, you're like, oh, he didn't give me the ball. So, no, get back on side, son. But he sort of sat out there for a bit. So obviously that's why he was offside. But like we were saying earlier, he's got to learn. So obviously Arteta is going to tell him things like that when they watch like the highlights and the videos and say, listen, mate, you've got to get back on side when you get this position. Because, if you'd have got, it only takes half a second to take a couple of steps back into the side. And not only that, if he'd have done that, he could have been unmarked and then we'd have had the goal rather than be disallowed for off. Did he actually put it in the net, though?
No.
No, but, so he didn't finish it anyway.
No, it was saved anyway, yeah. I mean, it's this thing, it's frustrating. You look at Pepe, he's got the skills, his decision-making is tripe at times. He's got a wonderful final ball, okay? But, he needs to play the simple ball and vary his attacking style at times. He needs to become a real team player.
I saw him when I was a bit later in the game, but like when he was like trying to play a few 1-2s with Ozil, I think before with like Ceballos.
Yeah.
And he's putting it where he thinks Pepe's gonna go, but Pepe doesn't go there, or vice versa. So maybe, the longer they play together, like in matches and in training, they'll sort of get onto the same page a bit more. So hopefully, with like Perez and Emery, they just knew where they were going to be before, but obviously playing for France for years and then for Arsenal for years as well. So hopefully he'll get that a bit more in the next, especially start of next season.
Absolutely. Rudy Ross was just going to the great point there. We're going to talk about this a little bit later, okay? I want to keep the powder dry on that for a second, Rudy, but we will speak about it. Danny, then you get a corner for West Ham. Awful defending from us, absolutely crap, okay, from the whole back four, to be fair, and the midfielders. Diop wins the ball, Antonio fires wide. How we managed to miss, I don't know. That's the second one we got away with. We should be 2-0 down, shouldn't we?
Yeah, and as someone else said, we started off with Antonio couldn't hit a barn door, and someone else said he couldn't hit a barn door if he was inside the barn. I think that applied superbly today. At that point during the game, I'd got so bored, and I was on Amazon buying batteries for my remote for my heaters, so I didn't really see that. I remember them building up to the corner and hearing the not the radio, the stream that I was watching a Canadian one. I don't know who was doing it. Yeah, but there was a sense of frustration at the stadium. I think the fans are getting very as an Arsenal fan at the moment, it's not easy because people aren't going to the games. There's nothing really to look forward to. The only thing we've got is the FA Cup, and the rest of it is just like being an Arsenal fan is like being a Wednesday afternoon at work. You just go, oh God, we're only halfway, only another few things to go, and the whole thing is just it's right. People aren't listening to podcasts, people aren't going to games, we're very our WhatsApp groups, we're very rarely talking about football in there, and it's all a bit shit at the moment.
Oh, will you stop being so fucking negative? Right, let's get on with this. No, shut up now. Stop being negative, okay? We've only lost one game.
I know.
I don't know what people want.
Oh no, I'm not saying they're right. I'm just saying it's like a Wednesday afternoon.
But the negativity around the place at the moment it makes me sick. I got to be honest with you, Redo. Okay, it was an awful display against Olympiacos. It was really frustrating. It was horrible, okay? But my God, we haven't lost a game in the league since Chelsea. Okay. Was that? Did we lose against Chelsea? When was the last time we won a league game?
We drew with them.
Yeah, we drew with them. You know, we're doing okay. We're doing okay. I tell you what, okay, we're turning the ship around, but it's going to take time. We need a bit more positivity. Yes, it's frustrating, but that's the way it goes. Right, Nicky, on the 46th minute, Nketiah in the box, and this is the one we were talking about earlier on. Oh, he could have had a yellow card for that, couldn't he? I'll be back in a sec.
Was he talking about the dive near the end? Is that what you said?
I think maybe the one in the penalty area where I think it might have been I wouldn't say it was a dive, but then the arguing with the referee afterwards because I think the referee told him to shut up and go away. Didn't he?
Yeah, he was arguing. But I mean, the bloke ran in, and I thought, well, it looks like he was gonna take him out, but then he just like planted both feet and stopped, and then he just sort of kept going and sort of. I won't say dive, but he sort of chucked himself out the way of it a bit.
But his legs did kind of sweep away from him, didn't they? He didn't drop straight down. There was contact with the West Ham person.
Yeah, I think there was a bit of contact. They didn't show the replay, obviously, because that was just before half-time, so they never show a replay, because obviously we can see more stuff like that in slow motion and stuff like that. And you've got to think, if it was a penalty, then VAR would have given. And I was thinking, as that happened, was that a penalty? Was that? I don't know. Like I say, they did show the replay, and then they blew for half-time. And then I was just thinking in the back of my mind, are they going to bring everyone out like they did in Germany? Was it this season or last season? Bring us all back out to take the penalty? I was thinking, that'd be something to talk about. But obviously they looked at it and they didn't. But it's one of those. I don't think I'd have been upset if that was given against us, because, like I say, the bloke's both feet were planted. He didn't lift the leg up. He didn't put an arm out. So
I think the referee probably looked at it as a coming together. I
don't think it was a dive, and I don't think it was a penalty either.
Pete isn't happy, Jace.
He's tried to win that, hasn't he? He's tried to win that. I'm sorry again. I really, really like Eddie again.
Well, I was saying, Jason, he did look like he was going to take him out. The way he was running in, but it just seemed at the last second, he was like, oh, no, better not, and just planted both feet. But Eddie was already sort of going down. I think he clipped him on the way down, didn't he? So I'm like, And like Danny said, arguing with the referee. I was like, don't argue with the referee. We're not allowed to argue with the referees.
No, it's just one of those. I don't get the point. It's pointless at times. You can ask him the question, but he's not going to change his mind. Pete will get to that in a second. Okay, Phil McHenry, we're still Six Nations champions. We're still Grand Slam champions until coronavirus stops everything. I don't know.
Are you living in the past there?
Last season, yeah. We're awful at the moment. We're not good.
Not like every 4 years, then.
Behave now, okay?
Oh, is it? I don't like egg chasing.
Do me a favour.
Yeah, look, shut your face and read a quote. Rudy's putting quotes in from the press conference.
I can't see him.
Arteta Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta on Lacazette and Nketiah. They are both playing well and scoring. When I was talking to him, I could see he was determined to come on and score a goal. There you go. That's a quote. Cheers, Rudy. As always.
Magic. End of the first half, Danny, okay? So the stats read like this, okay? Possession, 79% to us. Shots, 3 for us, 5 for West Ham. On target, 0 for us, 2 for West Ham. Corners, 6-5 in our favour, and 3 fouls we've made as opposed to 6 from West Ham. We bossed the possession without actually bossing the game. Lots of possession, not a lot of penetration. Midfield is bang average. The front four, I felt, were bang average. We're struggling to find that coherence at the moment, aren't we?
I think we haven't got any outstanding players at the moment. We're having a couple of players will have a good game, a couple of players will have quite a good game. Then the next game, they're not having a good game. It's just taking a while. Like you were saying, it's only 15 games into Arteta's run as manager, and these things are going to take time as he's giving players their orders and new ideas and saying you need to go and do this and go and do that. Eventually, it is all going to come together. We are the only unbeaten Premier League team in 2020. which is magnificent to see. And like I always say, you look back at this game in the history football yearbooks, and it will just go 1-0 West Ham clean sheet. Lacazette scored, move on. But we were lucky to beat them because they were as rubbish as we were at times, but they were just a little bit more rubbish.
No, I agree with that. I
don't start saying that. I'll have you tell me to shut up.
Yeah, no, I am going to tell you to shut up. The one thing that really screamed to me with that first half, Nick, was obviously I don't know what's going on with AMN at the moment, and today really made it strange for me. But Sokratis at right back again. We know that there was a bit of a hamstring strain for
Bellerin.
Hector. Yeah, thank you. Before the game, but and to be fair to Sokratis, before we go into this, I thought he played very well today. I think he should have scored with the header, but I wouldn't have a go at him about it. And I don't mind giving Sokratis any stick, as you all know, right? But I thought he played very well today. He's asked to do a job he's not built for. J-Rob just smashes in the donation and he says, I'm working, chaps. I'll catch you later. J-Rob, I've missed you. Good to see you back. Cheers, bro. But we lose so much with Sokratis in that position. We have no athleticism getting forward. Pepe has got no help. Nobody overlapping him, nobody getting forward. It was really obvious to see in that first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think when we see other players come in, can play for different positions, we assume they're going to play exactly the same as the player they're replacing. I mean, I don't know if there's any fullbacks that could actually replace Bellerin, how he plays with his pace and that. But I noticed with Sokratis, when he has played at right back, that's kind of I don't know the right word, like a false right back. It seems like when we haven't got the ball, he's almost like between right back and a defensive midfielder, quite similar to how Man City used Kyle Walker for a long period of time. So it just seems we've got no defensive midfielder, even though I hate that word, defensive midfielder. We've got Danny Ceballos playing just in front of the back four, picking it up, running as far as Ozil, and then Ozil doing whatever he does. So it seems like we're a man down in midfield. So he sacrificed overlapping with Pepe with Bellerin because, well, obviously he's pulled a hamstring, but he's maybe that's helping midfield out slightly more and defence. So, I mean, he's not going to do what Bellerin does, is he?
No, he's simply incapable of doing it. He simply hasn't got the athleticism for it. To be fair, he tries and he gives it his all. I've got to take my hat off to Sokratis in this. He really has a go. I admire his tenacity in trying to do it, but he's way off. He's way off at the moment. Dan, a pretty poor first half from us. How did you feel about it all? Because I saw your tweet about it.
Yeah, absolute shit. I wish I'd have stayed in bed. I can't believe I had to get up for this nonsense. We've now got 172 people in the WhatsApp group for ABW, and you're still getting over the Emery era. It's like a long-term flu for you. You're usually sitting in a corner rocking when Emery was last as manager, and you're still not fit and ready to do shows. But no one else can do it because we've got special people who can't watch streams. Can't watch them. I can't watch streams. No, you see the fucking one I was watching. It's in HD. You piratey shitbag. But we're not going to say who the piratey shitbag is. You can figure that out on your own. But it's just absolute shit. But I still watched it. Still turned up. Still got out of bed. Still only had about 7 hours.
What gets me? Wales, England are playing at the moment, okay? And even though we're going to get humped, this is. Why am I not watching it properly? No, I got to do this. But
right, we're doing you a favour looking at the score, aren't we?
Fuck, we're 20 points to 9 down. It's not unsurmountable, but we need to up our.
How many points do you get for a goal?
We need to put our trousers up. Never mind that. Right, guys, I've been missing from the show for a while. Done a couple of podcasts, but it's really good to be back. I've got to be honest here, losing Dave and the Emery era heart nearly killed me. So, it's good to be back. But what's kind of confusing me at the moment is I'm back. The Arsenal have won 1-0.
Clean sheet.
Be quiet, please.
Sorry. Fingers on lips.
And I've only got 41 fucking likes. 40 fucking 1 likes.
How many people watching?
That's embarrassing. You lot, okay, let me tell you one thing now, okay? You know, if you, in the whole plethora of the Arsenal world, okay, you're not fucking good enough to be called Gus Caesar at the moment, okay? No. You're not Thierry Henry in any way, shape, or form. You're not good enough to be called Gus Caesar, you know? You're not good enough to be called Igor Stepanovs or Pal Lyderson. Pal fucking Lyderson, okay? Right now? Start tapping that effing like button now, because I gotta be honest with you, boys. I've seen some of your performances recently, Chatbox, and it's just downright gutless. Okay, you're not getting in there, and you know the boys give up their time to give you content, but no, you're too good to be fucking tapping that like button. Okay, who do you think you are, Eric Dyer's brother in the stand lancing it up? No. Excuse me, I would like 80 likes too sweet, please. Tappy, let's get going. I've had a guts full of all this. And Wales again up in the rugby. It's awful frustrating. On to the second half. Excuse me?
I said it's disgusting, Jace.
Thank you very much. Right, Nick, straight to you. Second half kicks off. We see some really patient build-up play. A great cross by Pepe, just a little too strong from Aubameyang. Okay. Yeah, we could have opened that second half up properly, couldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, was it one where Pepe put the cross in and Aubameyang was just like diving at full tilt? And
yeah.
But he'd have done well to get that, to be honest. But he had to put it in at that pace to clear the defenders anyway. But I would say we were patient building up, but I think at that, even quite early on in the second half, West Ham started doing a bit of time wasting as well. So I think they're thinking our luck's not in today, because they, like you said, they probably should have had 1 or 2 goals. So I think they were already thinking about, well, maybe we can hold out for 0-0.
Yeah. Well, they're in precarious position, aren't they? You know, I mean, they're fighting relegation. It's not going to be easy for them. You know, you're seeing teams grabbing points at the moment, and you know Watford beating Liverpool really put the cat amongst the pigeons. They're all there in 27 points. You know, Watford lost today, thankfully for West Ham. Bournemouth lost today, but you know it's going to be squeaky bum time for these clubs. Yeah. It really is.
Norwich are making their comeback as well.
Well,
they lost today,
didn't last long. Didn't
forgot about that.
Yeah. Just behave. Dan, you see Fabianski saving from Nketiah. Great save. I don't think Nketiah could have done any more. There was some wonderful work from Saka in the build-up. I felt for Eddie. We could have gone 1-0 up again.
It was like watching Fabianski on a trampoline. He was standing up, dropped down, bounced straight back up again to save the ball as well. And I saw that up again. I thought, how the hell is he? It's not like he's a young man there. He's got straight down, did it, got back up again. Magnificent. Yeah. It was like another one of the goalkeepers at Arsenal that really didn't get enough chances. And I know Steve always really rated him. Rated all the Polish goalkeepers. But yeah, it's you've seen this season West Ham have been shit without him, and you can see why now. If it wasn't, I mean, if their goalkeeper, if their striker would have done his job, they'd have had a couple of goals, because Fabianski definitely did his job today. He can be one of those players that can go in the dressing room after the game and go, well, I've done my job. You fuckers didn't do your job. But like you're saying, Eddie. But Nick was saying earlier about Eddie and them getting the ball and stuff like that. I think when you're he's still only a young man. Is he still a teenager? Maybe 20. I don't know. You can't expect the rest of the team to play around you. You've got to come in. You've got to pick up the scraps, because they're seasoned professionals playing that game. And so Eddie's just got things like this. He's just got to wait and bide his time, and these things will come, because Arteta is giving him the minutes, which is going to be fantastic for him. And if this keeps happening, then next season we might even be able to let one of the front two go, because we've got people like Martinelli and Nketiah. Then it's exciting times. But yeah, he was unlucky.
Well, we will come to that in a second. Nick, you then see Leno saving from an Antonio header. He's going the wrong way. It's a really strong one-handed save. Poor defending from us again, showing that we're missing Mustafi. But fair play to Leno. Fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen keepers in the past, they would have saved it, which you'd expect them to save it. But the fact he actually got so much power on it to actually push it out of play as well, rather than just drop down by his feet. Because I think there was someone there ready to tap it in. Oh,
get in there! Fucking have it! Sorry. Oh, come on! We're getting back in this. Sorry, carry on, Nick. I should have muted myself.
Jeez, I'm scared. You've scared the cats.
Yeah. You're scared the chat as well.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I was just saying, he done well to actually get the power on to move the ball away from goal. But he's not interested, Jason, is he?
Not fucking really, boys. Not really. Don't give a monkeys. Oh, come on, Wales.
What's the score now then?
It's going to be 20 points to 16 to England. So yeah,
They're still losing.
We're still losing, but we're back in it. That's a good England side. I'm really chuffed with that at the moment. Yeah, no, it was great from Leno, to be fair. I do apologise, Nick. I'm so sorry. Okay, it's one of those. And who's that there? Boy C88 says, I thought that was the live reaction to us going 1-up. Us going 1-up, okay, was just as bad as that. It really was. Sorry. I do apologise.
Also, a quick more on Leno before we get into it. I did put something in the WhatsApp group earlier this week when they were talking about De Gea when he made his cock up in the last United game. And they actually said since the start of last season, De Gea, Leno, and a few others made 7 errors leading to goals.
Yeah,
but that's what they say. I mean, what they class as a goalkeeping error and what I class as a goalkeeping error might not be the same. But I can't remember him. Obviously, in the Olympiacos game, that wasn't very good. But this was in the Premiership. I can't remember him making any outright howlers. Can you?
No, there was one against Chelsea. You're always going to get a mistake from your goalkeeper at some point. They're not. They're never perfect, are they? But to be fair to him, he's so far up in the credit section. He's so far up in the credit section and what he's done for us. I got a lot of respect for Leno. I think there are probably better keepers out there. Okay, I do think that. But I think he's doing his job well. I think he can hold his head up high. I think, he's had a really good season for us. And to see him get a clean sheet today, I was chuffed to bits for him. Quick shout out to Christian Andreasen. Good evening, good people, he says. Just here to drop a like and send a message to Danny. Hoping you will upload this quickly so I can listen in the morning when I'm milking the cows. Christian Andersen's got a farm in Denmark. It is Denmark, isn't it?
Oh, that's the same. It's the place where the Vikings used to go and...
Yeah, he is a Viking. Yeah, he is a Viking. So, Christian, you're top man. Keep it going, son. We think the world of you.
He's the one that on a pod earlier this year, I said it, and this goes out to all the people milking cows because he said, hurry up and get it done. He's actually, looking on Twitter, he's only got about 6 followers, which I think is very sad.
Yeah, well, I'm not being funny. He doesn't tweet that often, but people, get following Christian. Danny, put his act in there, please. He's a top man, and we think the world of him.
It's Bergkamp.
Put it in the box.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Put it up. Highlight it, please. Highlight it.
There you go, Bergkamp.
There you go, thank you. So, then after 58 minutes, we see Lacazette come on for Eddie. I thought Eddie played okay. But I think it's really difficult for him because that front four is not working that well at the moment. And, for a young player, he's doing everything he should. And it's a real struggle for him. You can't expect the world from them. But, he's still going on. He's running his angles. I think he needs to stay up a bit more and just hang around that box. If he hangs around that box, he'll get a bit more joy. But he's willing to work. I got a lot of time for Eddie Nketiah. Fair play to him. Danny, you then see Leno saving from Bowen. Bowen on the break. He had options. But again, it wasn't the greatest save ever. But again, Leno saving us.
Yeah, there was someone made a good point in one of the podcasts, that not the one I was on last week, one of the other two ones. They were saying that when Petr Cech came to Arsenal, how many points he would save us a season, when in fact he probably didn't really save us any points.
He did. His first season he was superb.
I don't go far that back. I can barely remember the first half, Jace, let alone 50 years ago. But you look at that, in our times of need, Leno has been there to save us, and he is doing a great job with it. And people are saying that will he be going to Bayern Munich? Bayern Munich have already bought their replacement for Neuer.
The boys going there, isn't he?
The
Schalke boys going there.
Yeah. So that's the one who will be eventually replacing full Neuer.
Right. Well, to be fair, Leno's done really well for us. It's great. About 67 minutes, you got Declan Rice firing over. Ceballos is looking as if he's well out of puff. He looks screwed. Nelson coming on for Pepe. You can see we've got a bit of depth coming now, haven't we, Nick? You can see these guys got more minutes under their belt. I was a lot happier with Nelson coming on today than I was earlier on in the season.
Yeah, Nelson, I think he's stepped up since Arteta's been there, and I think he's bulked up a bit as well. And it's good to have a lot more players on the bench as well. I mean, I always find it funny when people are screaming, "Oh, you got to start this guy, you got to start this guy," I said, well, you got to have someone to bring on. You can't just, it's a squad game now, and that match day was at 18. You've got to have something good to bring. Because if you start with your theoretically best side 100%, you're not going to be able to bring anyone decent on. And I think he did quite well what he's doing. Don't overcomplicate. Just get him on the ball and just get him to run at people.
No, I agree with you. Mike Hernandez has just smashed in with a donation, and he says, "My wife called me to tell me that our baby boy finally said Dada. I explained to her that interrupting this podcast is unacceptable. Come on, you Gooners." Oh, Michael, you're an absolute star, mate. Oh, God.
Apparently, Sean's first words were going around Tesco's in Huntingdon, and she said bollocks.
My nephew Sam's first word was lager. 3 months intensive training. I tell you what, okay, his mother was fuming. She was fuming. I then taught him slapper, but he kept on hitting me when I told him. So I just put a stop to that. But yeah, he used to run around, arms in the air, lager. I found that very amusing. Danny, we then see in 74th minute, Ozil, he's in prime shooting position. He lays the ball off to Lacazette poorly, and just loses the ball. I was fuming with Ozil at this point. He's got to be braver there, and he's got to take a shot on, hasn't he?
Yeah, talking about him. We got old Strutter in the chat. Is Jace giving a live view on the egg chasing? No,
back in your box, Gav. Back in your box.
I was said in the first half that I was taking more of a notice of what Ozil was doing, and at some point towards just about the time in the game where you're talking about now, I noticed it was over the right-hand side. He was trying to make a couple of decent passes rather than just doing the give and go that he was been doing for quite a lot of the game. He was trying to create stuff. Now, he was stuck out on the right-hand side. I think he went to try and do a cross, and the bloke stuck his leg out and the ball hit him, and then he had another go at it. And I thought, well, to be fair, he is... What are you on? Well, Bergie's come to say hello. Yeah, he's still trying. But like Boyce says here, fucking someone else has wrote something, haven't they? Where is it? There we go. Ozil was still poor. He was still poor. Only bit. I think we get annoyed with him because he has so much ability. He should be able to levitate around that pitch. He has so much ability. But the longer it goes on, but then later in the game, what did he do? He did magic, didn't he, Jay? So I'm not going to complain too much.
This is the frustration. I had the same frustration as Santi Cazorla, okay? When you're so good on the ball, when you're when you're such a good footballer, and you're not hitting the ball on target, when you're not taking on these opportunities, I get very frustrated, and it's just annoying. But, Nicky, then, okay, we see an Aubameyang shot blocked. The ball comes up. Ozil comes up, goes forward. Instead of taking the header on, he lays it off to Lacazette, who makes no mistake. Goal. Sian Massey holds her flag up. Ooh, she's wrong here. And I got a lot of respect for Sian Massey. She's a very good official. She doesn't often get things wrong. But VAR, but Danny Garbidon is doing the comms on the stream I'm watching. I know. Danny Garbidon, ex of West Ham. And he said straight away, no, that's a goal. He's onside. VAR took 5 minutes to finally give the goal. What were your thoughts, pal?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is what VAR's been brought in for. You know, these, I mean, the linesmen or assistant referees, they can't get this right. They haven't been able to get offside right for a while because it's so tight. And when they're going to start giving offside to like toes and kneecaps and stuff like that, and one person's going one way, one person's going the other way, she's looking at the ball, she's looking at the back. You know, by the time she looked from there to there, he probably was offside. Not when, well, that's the word, and when the ball is played, which is that word in the offside rule is what's been doing my head in for years because what does that mean when the ball is played? Because I've seen them stop the cameras in so many different positions where a person's kicking the ball, and that's like, he's, you know, the ball's off his foot, it's on his foot, he hasn't kicked it yet, or it's just a blur. And that could be, what, a second?
Yeah.
You know, that could be, and that's a lot of time in football when one person's running one way and one person's running the other way. You know, we've got these 4K cameras taking hundreds of pictures a second, and that's why it took 5 minutes, because they sit there, they're clicking on their mouse, trying to get people offside or onside, because they're allowed to stop the play when they want to, which is wrong. You can't, if you're going to give, I haven't got a problem giving knees and toes offside if you stop the ball for the same for every person.
Yeah.
But they don't. And I know people say, oh, technology and all that, but they've got to get offside right. They've got to put a sensor in the ball, you know, like a G sense. I mean, you watch a bit of cricket, don't you, Jason?
Yeah.
Like when you see like how they do it, you know, use other sports that, you know, have had this sort of thing for years. When you see if there's a touch, you see the little, you know, the little line to say there was a touch, there weren't, and say, right, this is where we stop it. It's at the highest arc of when they've kicked the ball. So that is when we stop it. We've got no wiggle room. And then, yeah, fine, give toes, kneecaps offside. That's fine. But you can't sit there. I mean, we watched it 3 times. He redrew that line, and then he started drawing another line because the guy's foot had come up a bit. So then he drew the foot from, instead of his foot, from his ankle. I'm like, well, what are you doing? And I think I won't say we got away with one because he was onside, but because was it Aubameyang who played the ball in, he was actually in the shot and he was quite close up to play. Whereas a lot of the times we see these pictures and we can't even see where the person is who's playing the ball. And they show this weird camera angle, which none of us ever seen for offside that we normally see in football, shot up the top, don't we? We see the ball being played, they draw the line, and we think, fair enough. But how they get away with just doing this, I mean, 5 minutes, I saw it from the first replay. I didn't even need any of these weird VAR because the only part of him from how Ozil was standing was his arm because he was standing side on. So he couldn't have been offside with your arm anyway because you can't score with your arm cannot be offside. So why they took 5 minutes, and then, let's say, they added those 5 minutes on in stoppage time as well. And, you know, West Ham very nearly scored an equaliser as well.
It's that side of it, isn't it? When Garbidon says it's clearly onside, and you know, let's be honest, VAR only doesn't work because the officials use it.
Yeah.
And I've got to be honest, the PGMOL needs a total overhaul. You know, when Riley's in charge of anything, you know it's corrupt. And you know the incompetence of the likes of Moss, Mike Dean, Atkinson today is an absolute disgrace. Michael Harneman's just popped in the donation and he says, never offside. Nelson's offside but wasn't interfering with play. Lacazette and Ozil both onside. Exactly. It was a really good goal, though, wasn't it, Dan? It was a really good goal, and it was. I thought we deserved it at that point.
Yeah, but also, when I saw the replay back, I don't celebrate goals anymore because I don't want to look like an idiot in front of my cats. It's bad enough that I'm wheeling around with no pants on and they're laughing at me, so I don't want to celebrate a goal and then turn out that it's been VAR'd. But when I saw the replay of the goal, you saw that it was set up by Aubameyang. He had a bit of a shot, hit their defender up in the air, and Ozil at the speed of light, up like some kind of Jedi. I don't watch that Star Wars nonsense. Up like some kind of Klingon, and like a scene from The Matrix again. Up, puts it straight onto the path of Lacazette. Lacazette has been missing these of late, and Lacazette makes no mistake, bangs it in, and then pulls his, and then almost immediately, Sean Massey has gone, oh, that's offside, because it was close from where she was, which is why, like I've said for years, we need a goal. We're like in the Champions League, we need referees behind, the linesmen behind the goal, and we need two linesmen on each side of the pitch. And then we wouldn't need such things as VAR. But it just ruins it for me because I didn't celebrate when he scored the goal. And then you wait 5 minutes and go, well, the commentators went, that's a goal. That's a goal. There's definitely a goal. And like Nicky was saying, they're measuring it again. Blue blocks, red blocks, blue blocks, red blocks. Then put a stupid camera angle, which you can't even see if anybody's offside because it's not a line of sight like that. It was more off to the corner like that. And then they go, VAR goal. And I thought, oh, goal.
Well, I celebrated it like I celebrated the Welsh try. I thought it was brilliant. And stuff VAR, it's just something we've got to deal with at the moment.
I know a lot of refs, people don't like it, but when we watch rugby and other sports like that, we might not agree with them, but if we can hear what they're actually saying and what they're checking for, we might say, oh, well, I see what he was saying. He's explained himself. I thought this was offside because of this, or this was this because of that. And then we could say, fair enough. If that's how he's interpreting it, at least we know what he was thinking. With these guys, why were they in there for 5 minutes trying, I know we're Arsenal supporters, you think they're trying to make him look offside. I mean, I remember a similar one before Christmas where Pookie scored a goal against Chelsea, which would have took them 2-1 up, and he was onside all day long, and that took 5-6 minutes. You think, well, how are they if it takes 5 minutes to see if someone's offside or not, then they're onside, aren't they? If it's that close, just give them the benefit of the doubt, because offside is not saying, oh, half of your foot's offside. It's to stop goal hanging. It's to stop people deliberately standing, yards offside to gain an advantage. It's not I know people say that's not in the spirit of the game, but it's not. Giving toes offside, that's no good to anyone. And saying, I was giving the advantage to the attacker, how? That's not an advantage, having half a toe offside.
To be fair, boys, we had the right result in the end, so let's wrap that VAR thing up. It was a great goal.
They're saying that it's always against us. At the moment, Arsenal are -1 on decisions. We've had 4...
there's been some poor decisions, okay? But that is down to the podcast in the week. That's not VAR's fault. That's the official's fault. The one against Sheffield United is an absolute disgrace, I know. But I don't want to spend all night talking about VAR, boys. We won a game of football. It was, to be fair to Ozil, lovely little layoff, and Lacazette made no mistake. And it was fantastic to go 1-0 up at that point. 13 minutes left. But then, Dan, West Ham came back at us, didn't they? They really had a go.
Yeah, I was quite surprised about that because they'd failed to do much during the whole of the game, and they were very, very defensive the whole time. Every time we had an attack, there was stuff their player, their area full of players. And I thought that at times it looked like the only decent player they had was playing in goal. But then they come out when we called that goal, and almost straight away they tried to score a goal. And knowing our luck, I was expecting that because I wasn't watching again. I think I was editing the JPEG for our tweets because so I update it as we go along. And you don't really expect anyone to try and have a shot on goal straight away. But I saw the replay and I thought they were quite unlucky.
They were at times, weren't they? I mean, Nick, 5 minutes added extra time. Fair play to West Ham. They showed great sparring coming back at us. But we managed the game well, didn't we? We managed the game well, and it was lovely to see us winning.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I was really happy with, even though he played like nearly 6 minutes. But I loved it when we were sort of on the break, and Aubameyang sort of looked over and looked at. I don't know if they've got a clock at the Emirates. I think when that goes to 45, that just sits there. But it's almost, he actually sort of walked into the corner flag and wasted another 20, 30 seconds, and that was it. And I'm like, because I've seen it so many times where we've done that and just either tried to score another goal and completely messed it up, and they're on the break. So I was really, the fact he's, captain and he done things like that. He's not happy. The fact he did that, I was really impressed with that.
Yeah.
The touchline judges have let him down.
It was one of those, isn't it? It was strange. But look, we went on. Michael Hardiman, thanks. It's good to be back, pal. It's good to see you in the box. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, no. Oh, this is looking awful. Sorry. Right. That's it. That's the game. Okay? I can't concentrate anymore. It's another 3 points. And it leaves us 9th in the league. Okay? Or 10th. Was it we do 10th in the league? Yeah, 10th. No, we were 9th. If Burnley win.
They're winning 1-0.
And they're 1-0 up at the moment. Yeah. It'll leave us 10th in the league. Okay, but we got games in hand on Tottenham. We got games in hand on Burnley. We got games in hand on Wolves. We're in a pretty decent position. I know the game in hand is City, and that's going to be a tough one midweek. Okay, but we're on a roll at the moment. If we can get anything out of the City game, I'll be over the moon. So it's nice to see us in this position at the moment. We're getting there. We've had a real disappointment in the Arcos game, but we're kind of getting there. What were your thoughts on the game, Dan? Were you happy or were you fucking bollocks?
Yeah, the second one.
To fall off that chair, isn't he?
Looking back, it's a win. It's a clean sheet. It's against a team that they're on the up at the moment. They've had a couple of decent results lately. They're fighting for their lives down the bottom half of the Premier League. As much as I'd like to see West Ham get relegated, because I don't like the fact that they get that stadium for £1 a week, and I don't like their owners that aren't big.
Thank Boris for that.
Yeah, thank Boris. Cheers, Boris, and his 17 kids. So yeah, it's just I moan about the game being boring, but I was thinking, you look back at the Invincible run when every single game we won 8-0, you would think. But then you think back at those games, some of those games during the Invincible run were rubbish, and we were lucky to get draws, lucky to get wins. And this is just another one of them games. Can't complain too much. Just like Nicky was saying, VAR, if used properly, or people have been saying in the chat, VAR is good if it's used properly, but we've got arrogant referees. That's why we don't have any referees at the World Cup, because we don't have the best referees in the world. And if you go and listen to the Peter Crouch pod, you'll hear why, because the referees are just knobs. Don't like them.
It's shocking. Right. Nicky, your thoughts on the win?
Well, first half was a bit crap for both sides, really. We had possession. They could have probably scored at least one, maybe two. And even the second half, I thought this is going to end up 0-0 until we had that goal, which, like I say, before VAR, that weren't a goal, was it? Before this year. But this time of the year, we're, March? It doesn't really matter about the performance. We've got to get the points. Who cares? If there's a chance that we can get up there into 5th and Man City's ban is going to be, upheld, and 5th place does get the Champions League, we've got to try and get there.
I think Champions League's on. What,
5th or 4th?
4th. It's on. It's on. You look at the inconsistency in these teams this season, okay? Some of these teams, Chelsea, they've been horrible. Spurs have been horrible, okay?
Wolves, 5 losses in a row for Spurs.
Yeah. Well, if they lose today, come on, Burnley. It's the only good thing you'll ever do in your lives, you scumbags. Do it for us. There's some really, really horrible teams there. Sheffield United have been decent, but they're not great. Okay, United are bipolar. Do you know what I mean? And there's nothing there to be scared of. Yes, the City game is a bit daunting this week, okay, but we've got to have a go at it. We've got to really go for them, and hope, fingers crossed, it'll click for us. So let's go on to some questions then, guys. First question, Danny, this is for you. From Joe Madeira, 1993, and he says, why does Arteta insist on starting Alba on the left?
Nobody knows, but Freddie did the same thing, Emery did the same thing, and Wenger did the same thing. So I'm just putting it down to they know best and I don't. But he should be the head of our attack. It should be him playing up front, have some big lump playing next to him. I mean, we've tried him and Lacazette playing next to each other. I think it worked quite well. But I think a lot of it is to accommodate Ozil, because if you're playing Lacazette, big man, little man, if you're playing Wright and Bergkamp up front, you haven't got enough room for Ozil behind, as well as having the Saka on the left and Pepe on the right. I think it's you can't leave certain players out.
I think as well, we're a possession-based team. You know, Auba's hold-up play is not great. He's somebody who likes playing off the shoulder to use his pace. I think, you know, it's a bit difficult to have him as that pinnacle man in that team. But, you know, we'll wait and see now. Joe Madeira, who else? There's somebody else who has asked about this as well. There's a couple of people who've asked about Gabriel Martinelli. I'm looking to see if I can find who that is.
Yeah, there's been quite a few asking why he wasn't starting and why he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, somebody said, John Bernstein, if Jason can only pick one, is it a Spurs loss or a Wales win? It's a Wales win every day of the week, mate. Okay, every day of the week, I'm sorry, okay?
Is this a Bible quote, 33:16? Is that a Bible quote?
I will knock your fucking head off, mate. Let's get back onto this. Sorry, guys. Whoever else has answered this question, I haven't got your names. I do apologise. But, Mickey, why has Arteta stopped playing Gab Martinelli?
Yeah, they were saying that during the week. And I think when we signed him in the summer, didn't he come straight from like the Brazilian league and join us within like a week or something? So he didn't pretty much have no pre-season when we signed him, hardly. And like I say, he's still an 18-year-old kid. You know, he's got to adapt to, you know, how we play in the Premiership. That's a lot faster. And like I say, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Maybe he could have a slight niggle, or they've planned to say, right, you know, we brought back in Eddie. We're going to play him for the next 2 months. We're going to get Martinelli. We're going to stick him in the gym, work on this fitness, this whatever tactics and how we want him to play. And then we're going to go from there. So it's one of those things where I know we, as the, you know, Arsenal supporters and the media in general, we want to know every plan, everything that goes on behind closed doors. You know, not just Arsenal, all football clubs, and they don't want us to know. They don't want us to know what they're planning, who they're planning on buying, who they're planning on selling, who's going to play in what position, what work they're doing, you know, in the training ground. So we just have to buy our time. And he showed us he's a decent player. So whether he's thinking, right, Martinelli, Nketiah, you got it now, because I think Lacazette will probably be off in the summer. It's going to be at least like Lacazette or Aubameyang off in the summer. And you can look at these two and say, right, do you want to step up, or do you want me to go out and spend 40, 50 million and buy a replacement? Show me what you got.
Yeah. I mean, Peter Coulson asked the same question. He talks about Martinelli moving on because there'll be big teams sniffing around him. I think Arteta, his relationship with Martinelli looks sound. I think, you know, you'll see this develop quite nicely for us, in all honesty. That's my opinion, okay? I just think that you're a young guy and they're looking at him. I think he's going to get his opportunity this season with the run-in. And I think he'll take that opportunity, and I think he's going to win a place. The problem you've got at the moment is, you know, I think he's a centre forward. If he wants to play on the left, or there's Aubameyang in front of him, or Alba will go. I think I'd be very surprised if he stays.
Both?
So Aubameyang and Lacazette.
Yeah.
Look, you've got to replace goals, as we spoke about in the podcast.
We'd have to sign a superstar striker if we got rid of both, surely.
Yeah, you'd have to reinvest that money. I have zero faith in Raul Sanllehi. Zero faith. So I don't know. I mean, look, if you get enough money for the pair of them, and you've got a ready-made replacement to come in and a deal in principle agreed, I got no problem with it. I got no emotional attachment to either of them. I got a lot of time for both of them. I think they're both very good players. I think, Lacazette's form has suffered because of the midfield makeup, because the personnel we have in midfield. Aubameyang, I think he's been great, clutch player. He's done brilliant for us. Okay, but it wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't. But you'd have to get the right player in to replace them, and then the pressure really is on Martinelli and Nketiah then, because they have to deliver. At the moment, if they don't deliver, it ain't the end of the world because you got the two premium strikers there. We've just got to start making better decisions with our midfielders. That's the big thing for us at the moment. That's what I'm most worried about. John Bernstein asks, and I'll take this one actually. Is it time to try Willock or AMN in a deeper position in midfield? I feel like our lack of athleticism is killing us. I agree with you, John. I do agree with you. I would try both, okay? Willock's form has been poor recently. I'm not sure what the reason for that is, okay? But I would give both a go. But obviously there's an issue between Maitland-Niles and Arteta at the moment, and that is concerning. Ceballos, you can see the talent, but he's a very talented passer of the ball. Yeah, he's given us everything today, to be fair to him, but he's not been great. Xhaka, I like Xhaka. I don't mind telling you he was awful today, but he wasn't as bad as people have made out either. Do you know what I mean? There were a few poor balls. There were 11 poor balls, and that was, he's got to improve. But the link between the attack and those two midfielders is missing, and we need real dynamism in there. And in all fairness to Willock and the AMN, they have that athleticism and that dynamism. So fingers crossed, they'll get a chance and they'll do well. That's all I'm hoping for. Danny, John Bernstein asks, and this one is going to you. I'm watching the Seattle Sounders game later, he says. What is more likely, me catching the coronavirus or Arsenal getting into the Champions League?
Well, America hasn't got that much of the coronavirus at the moment, and we're not getting into the Champions League because Man City will just bankrupt UEFA and FIFA and any other competition that tries to, organisation that tries to stop them. So later tonight, the Seattle Sounders who are they playing? They're home to the Columbus Crew. I hope Columbus Crew smash you about 15-0 and come on, Portland Timbers.
I was going to say, shiver me timbers. You're a big Timbers fan, aren't you, pal?
I am. We had a magnificent start to the season. We got smashed 3-1. It's not going to be a good season.
Never mind. Nicky, Pete Coulson asks, I think we're in danger of losing at least one of our best young players in the summer. Which would be the hardest loss? Martinelli, Leno, or Saka?
I don't want to lose any of them.
Pick one, boy.
Pick one.
Pick one.
Saka.
Really?
It took us this long to get a decent goalkeeper, and if Aubameyang and Lacazette are off, we'll need at least, we'll need Martinelli, we'll need a striker. Whereas Saka, I mean, he's a good kid and he started off really well, but I don't, he's doing well for a youngster. Can he maintain this over a course of a season or 2 seasons, or is he going to get a bit found out like what Iwobi did, where he started off like a house on fire, scoring goals, giving it the old gun celebrations and all that, and then he just sort of fizzled out, got a bit found out. Not saying he was a bad player, but he was just given. I mean, we all called him average Iwobi because he was average a lot of the time, just done the basics, wasn't scoring goals, just did an okay job. And where he is at the moment, if we could get decent money for him, which I don't think no one would give us silly money for him, but then also, isn't he like his contract up at the end of the summer? Plus he's on like $3,000 a week, so Saka.
Oh, Saka, look, yes, but Saka's he's still on that academy.
I think he's on like $3,000 a week.
But no one's allowed to take him because of his age. I think.
I'd be honest with you, I'd let Leno go before either of those two Martinelli thing. I think attacking players come at a premium. I think you're going to be far more able to replace a keeper than you are in good young talent. When you look at your investment in Saka coming through the academy, it's negligible in comparison to your investment in other areas of the pitch. And if you can get goals from those areas, that really adds to your thing. Keepers, I really, really, really like Leno. I got a lot of time for him, and I feel a bit of a bond with him. But he'd be easier to replace than the other two.
Give Martinez a go or buy another keeper. I don't want to get rid of any of them. I'm not saying I don't want to get rid of Saka.
Yeah, I'd buy another keeper. I'd buy another keeper. To be honest with you, I think I like Martinez, but I think there's a gap in quality there in comparison to the other guys. Dan, what's your thoughts on that?
Unfair question, Peter Colson. You asked her.
Dan, what's your thoughts on that one?
I'm not going to answer a stupid question. Fuck them. Who asked the question?
Pete Colson.
There you go. Stupid fucking question. Ban him. Time out.
It's going to be interesting, but look, that's it for today, guys. It's 3 points. It's 3 points. It's happy days, okay? We made hard work of it. And that was a game we should have won by 2 or 3, but that's the way it is. We face Man City this week. I don't know what the lineup is yet. I haven't done it for the show.
You're picking the lineup for Arteta. You kept that quiet.
I'll tell you what, mate. If I was picking the lineup for Arteta, we'd have won 5-0 today.
Shut up, you Jason shit.
No, I know. Sorry. Look, I love Arteta. I think he's doing a great job. Chat box, I big you up, but I've only got 66 likes. That's putrid. I asked for 80. You haven't done it, so go stuff yourselves. Yeah, just go stuff yourselves. Go to hell. What can I say? If you're not going to give me the 80 I want, okay, you're not going to get any love.
Come on, chat box, get it up to 80. Be like England in the rugby. Don't be like Wales.
Yeah, no.
No.
Yeah, it's depressing at the moment.
We should say thank you to one of your lot, Jace. Richard Morris. He's at Arsenal at the moment. He's taken off his Arsenal shirt. He's put on his Wales shirt and he's celebrating the thing. And he also stuffed us £10 down your shorts via a PayPal donation. He did. So we get 10 quid.
Richard, you're a star, mate. Thank you so much. Rich, it's tough times at the moment, pal. But we're on the attack here. Come on. Can't get it. Go on, you fucking twat. This England side's good, to be fair to them. But there we go. So to those of you listening on any other platform, I'm presenting the show whilst watching the rugby at the same time.
And at the end of this month, I will be presenting the show whilst watching the British Touring Car Championships, a real sport for real men and women, although there are none.
What can I say?
Bye.
I don't know what the hell that is. That's it. So, another shout out, Matthew J. Watkins. Guys, we talk a lot about mental health on this show. Your normal health, your physical health is just as important. If there are things that you're suffering from, as things that you feel are getting you down, if you think that you got a lump or something, or there's something not quite right, get it seen to. Be brave, okay? You've only got one life, and we need you in the chat box because you're part of our family, you're part of our ABW family, and we think the world of you. Without you, there is none of this. This means nothing, So, please take care of yourselves. Whether you're male, whether you're female, it doesn't matter. If there's anything bothering you, get it checked out. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling that you may be suffering from any mental health issues, go speak to somebody about it. A problem shared is a problem halved. And you've got to take care of yourselves, guys. Too many people soldier on and think they're being tough. You're not. You're just doing yourself harm by not addressing the situation. Okay, so please, please, please take care of yourselves, okay? We give a shit about you. We don't want you something. We've lost 2 of our own this year. I don't mind telling you, I haven't wanted a pod for a while. I couldn't give a shit. Losing Dave and Steve has hurt like hell. You know, there are people who are always in your life. Every day there's a voice message from Steve. Every day there's me and Dave's there being lovely as usual. And losing these guys, you know, part of the zing and part of the enjoyment of doing this, you know, it just left the building for a while. And, you know, so that's what I've had to look at the last couple of weeks. Do I want to carry on doing this? But you guys, you make it worthwhile. The fun I see in that chat box is brilliant. So take care of yourselves, please. Please take care of yourselves. You're only just 73 likes, so I'm still not giving you any love, okay? But please, you know what I'm saying. And my thanks to you, Nicky. It's the first time I podded with you. Yeah. Congratulations. This is something to put in your CV now.
Yeah. And if people want to find Nick, he does Twitch. We'll put his link on the screen now. Just go to Twitch, set up an account, just go and follow him. NickFights. And I'm not going to say most of the games he plays are shit, although they are. Although I was watching him playing Far Cry 5. And yes, that was quite good. But the rest of them, they're all dark and scary.
Far Cry 5? What's that?
You shut your face. It's like Pac-Man, Joyce. He'll understand that.
I play Golf Clash. That's about as far as I get. Jose Jimenez, thank you, mate. Thomas from Norway, thank you, guys. Danny, I would say thank you, but you bored me senseless today.
At least I won at rugby. I don't even like the
sport. Nice. Well done. Nice. I like that a lot. You don't even like rugby. That's the best part about it.
Never watched a game in my life, and I'm never fucking gonna. Either of them, they're both wrong.
Chatbox, you're magnificent as always. Thank you ever so much. Okay, have a good week. We'll be back with the Man City show. Enjoy yourselves. Take care of yourselves. If you're listening on any other platform, thanks for listening. Really do appreciate it. Danny, switch this shit off.
Certainly.